I wonder if I could edit. We'll try that. So you've been watching my uploads?
I've been trying to get on them. You know what I mean?
Don't try. Get on them now. I need you on them. You need to watch them. They're good. Let them run while you at work. I need some help with some watch hours anyway. The more I'm getting played, the more time is accruing for my watch hours so I can get monetized.
Okay.
When you starting that channel, bro?
I'm sorry. Soon as my best friend actually start helping me with this shit.
I'm ready. We kicking it off today. Come on, let's go. I'm ready. Chop, chop. Time is money. You gonna put it off on me, as you always do.
You're supposed to be helping me set it up. I don't know what I'm doing with that shit.
I'm gonna help you. I got you. Hello, welcome. Say hello in the chat so I can know who you are. I got my partner in crime with me here today. The Riggs effect. That's Mr. Riggs, everybody.
If you don't know, now you know.
Oh, shit. You cutting up.
Always.
Up. Yup, always. I didn't even shoot anybody, the fact that we were going live. But we're just going to talk, guys. Let's talk about it. Some of the uploads I've been putting out lately. Some of the stories that you heard so far. Hello, officially. I'm Miss Wanda from Grandma Does It All. Watching from Alaska, Eliza. Welcome. Thank you for popping in. Appreciate having you. This is my co-host, Mr. Riggs, The Riggs Effect. Going to be a new channel that he's starting. Have you watched any of my uploads so far, Eliza? And are you a content creator? Because if so, I will return the love. Anybody that comes into the stream, if you are a content creator, give me up to 24 to 48 hours to return the love. I don't want YouTube to think that we're doing sub for sub. So I want to look over your channel and give you a full watch, couple watches. And then I'll be over on your channel within 24 to 48 hours. I always go back and rewatch the streams, and then I'll go back and support everybody in return. Well, thank you so much. Oh, you say you're not. Okay. Thank you so much. But you have watched the videos. I got it. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel, and thanks for popping in. We actually came on, like I said, just to talk about some of the uploads that you guys watched so far. You love my content. Thank you. Listen, it's real life. It is real life. It's a lot of drama, I know, but we haven't even scratched the surface yet. It's a lot. It's a lot that goes with it. Unfortunately, it is what it is. Mr. Riggs is here with me today because he saw me through everything. He's one of the individuals that saw me through it all. Thank God, when you have good friends and someone that you can vent to, it's very, very good when you're going through something like that. It was hard, guys. It was really, really hard. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I didn't love the man. Quite naturally, I did. I married him. It's just a lot of things came out after the fact. And I didn't really know, like I said in one of my uploads, Risa Tisa ain't got nothing on me, because I knew when she came out with her series, I was like, oh my God, why didn't I think of that first? Because this is crazy. But I'm going to be honest, I'm a very private person. You guys would have never gotten these uploads had we not gone through the turmoil at the end. Meaning that he and my family members put my business all out on blast. Mr. Riggs is here to tell you, I tried to keep everything under the wrap and just handle it diplomatically, and they just made me take the gloves off. And so they're off now, and it is what it is. And the actual separation occurred on, I'll tell you the date, December 13th of 2022. But from then until now, when I started uploading, I have never said a word to anybody outside of my circle of friends and my real family support, right? Which is only a couple. I can count on one hand. Total of 5 people.
Handful.
Yeah, total of 5 people, but they kept fighting dirty, and they went to the internet. They went on Facebook to humiliate me. They went on WhatsApp to humiliate me. They did this around where we live and everything. So I took the gloves off, and I went through my whole healing process and everything. And I had to look at my life all over and situate things for me and the kids because everything changed drastically, right? And so I had to go through some things. We went through family counseling. I did a lot of speaking, like I said, with older family members and friends who was advising me, and it worked. It worked. So here I am. I knew I could shake it off. I just didn't know I would shake it off so fast because trust me, they pulled me down in the trenches and I didn't belong there. So I had to kick and fight and scratch to get back out. Well, here I am. And now I'm in a spot that I can finally speak about it and tell my story. And I know a lot of people like the delivery. Hey, Ms. Deb, thank you for popping in, beautiful. That's my big sis, guys. She is from East Orange, New Jersey. Mr. Riggs.
Oh, all the way up top, huh?
Yeah, she a neighbor. I call them neighbors. If they in Jersey, they neighbors. If they in Philly, they neighbors. If they in New York, they neighbors. I call them all neighbors. Thank you so much for being here, Ms. Deb. She said, I had you dying with the pizza car story. Listen. I knew, I was like, now that I gave them all these bad stories, let me start bringing out some of the funnier stories for them. It's one that I have coming next week. I'm going to do it on Fridays. I'm going to give you like a funnier story on Fridays. And I know I'm going to, because on weekends, my goal is to do all this batch recording and editing so that I can get you guys more content out for the following week, Monday through Friday. So every Friday, I'm going to try to give you one of the funnier ones. Listen, I have a whole notebook here with all the content I will be bringing to you guys. It's all documented. So I'm not going to skip a beat. And as I think of things throughout the day, when I'm driving, when I'm shopping, when I'm watching TV, when I'm cooking, when I'm working, whatever, I'm jotting down, oh, don't forget to tell them this story. So I'll come home and add it in my book. She said, I'm a great storyteller. Thank you so much, Quiet Storm. What is it? Quiet Storm Maps. Thank you so much. Appreciate having you here. It is very therapeutic. Yes, it is. And it is a bit much reliving it because I said it yesterday, I believe, in yesterday's upload with the whole pizza car. It's a lot to relive. Sometimes I'm like mentally drained after I batch record. That's why I do it on the weekends now. Just batch record like that. Hold on, I got a message, guys. Okay. I'm gonna drop the link again down in the comments for anybody that wants to join. If you guys want to come up here, you're free to tap that link and come up if you want to discuss it, openly with me. But if you want to stay down in the chats, I understand that as well. I'm sure Mr. Riggs will pop back in eventually. You got to go through the whole studio thing. So guys, if there's anything you want me to clarify from any of the uploads that I put out so far, you can ask me anything. The only thing I'm not going to do is if you guys ask a question and it pertains to something that I'm going to have come out in the future, or if it's going to violate legally because I'm still going through the divorce process, then I won't answer those right now. But anything that you want to know, clarification off of anything that I might have said, or you feel like I might have skipped something in one of my stories, just put it out there. And if I can, I'll answer it for you. Like I said, they made me an open book. I know it's hard for me to believe that I'm actually uploading these, but it again is very therapeutic. I'm laughing. Like yesterday, I was tickled when I recorded that. It was yesterday morning before I put it out. And I kept laughing so much I couldn't get through that voiceover. So I took it took me a good 20 minutes to do that. And normally I just say it straight through with no problems. But yesterday I laughed throughout it, like, oh my God. And I had to keep stopping and re-editing. That one was fun, but it was still mental to know that I dealt with somebody so crazy. But it's a lot of stories, guys. I can tell you one right here off the top of my head. And I'm just going to give you a really quick synopsis of the story. When he first came in and he arrived at the airport, people were sticking their middle finger up at him because he was like in the way and just
What?
They were sticking their middle finger up at him, and this fool was out there bowing to them and stuff as a response. He didn't know that they was flipping him. He had no idea. When he came and told me that, I was like, do you know what that meant? I was like, am I being punked? I was looking for Ashton Kutcher. Like, this can't be real. Yeah, they was sticking their middle finger. I guess he was in their way, just lost. And they was cussing him out and stuff, and he was bowing to them. And a lot of these stories I'm sharing with y'all, I run past my girlfriends. They're like, girl, you got to put that up there. You have to. So that's why. And the pizza car, that story, one of my girlfriends told me on Wednesday, you have to put that up there. I said, okay, so I'll take the week out with a bang on Friday and give them that one. But again, I kept trying to get my mind prepared on Thursday and Friday when I was like, okay, I can do this. Once I put the kids off on the bus and I came home, had the house to myself, and I'm like, I'm going to do it. I laughed the whole time. It took me, like I said, about 20 minutes or more to record that. Mr. Riggs, as a man, let's talk about it. What do you feel about the whole thing, about a man going outside of his marriage with her family and making three-way calls to his friends back in Nigeria, to his family members here throughout the States and stuff, and just to our circle of friends that we had together as a couple? What do you feel about that? Hey, Tamika Davis, welcome, beautiful. Thank you for being here.
Well, what I feel about that is that he had ulterior motives. You know what I mean? You don't go through your woman's family unless you already got the intention to undermine her or how they view you. So therefore, you collectively put your team together from the door. You know what I mean? So now, anytime you say something bad about me, you're the problem, not me. So I'm always right.
So I'm like, let's keep in mind, let's put this in perspective culturally too, because a lot of people that's watching probably never dated someone outside of their own race or culture. And I'm just going to shed a little light. When you're dealing with Africans, whether it's a female or a male, 9 times out of 10 it's going to be a woman dealing with an African man, because normally the African women don't date outside of their men. That's a fact.
Okay.
So normally it's going to be an African man dating an American woman, or whoever. But when you're dating them culturally, they look at family as being very solid, right? So I can tell you guys from experience, from being with him, and he wasn't the first African man that I dated. He'll probably be the last. Okay. And I've said this before on my other channel, my main channel, and all our live streams when we talked about it, because I have a segment over there that we did. It was me and a mother and daughter that dated Nigerians. And then it was another woman who was a sister wife. And it was called International Love. And it's 4 parts over there on my main channel. And it's called the Chandler Crew, that channel. You can look in the description box of any of my uploads here, and you can find my other channel. And then you can go over there and you can watch that. And that was when I was really into marriage. So you can see a big difference of where I was there mentally opposed to where I am now in the aftermath, right? I want everybody to go check that out, because you'll get a realistic view of where I was and how invested I was into the marriage. And that was when all of this stuff was going on, unbeknownst to me. A lot of the uploads that I put up over there was during the pandemic, because that's actually when I started the channel. So you will see stuff realistically. And a lot of the things that I'm sharing in these story times over here, you can verify these things over there. which is, it makes me so happy that I started the channel when I did, because I really was going to start my channel, that first channel, 2 years prior, but I never had the time because I was so busy. But when the pandemic happened and everything was shut down and we had more time at home, I went on and kicked it off. Number one, to keep the kids connected with their friends. They could see them through my videos. And then for me, I was going to use it as just a way to have the kids recorded for my son, their father, who is incarcerated, so he wouldn't feel like he missed them growing up for these few years. And lastly, as extra income, right? So that channel did really, really well, really fast, I thought, because it became monetized within a year. This channel was just sitting at, was it 456 subscribers 2 weeks ago. And now look at me, I'm already over 1K and I'm looking for monetization. And I know it's because of this series. This series, when I first started talking about it, it wasn't storytelling. It was just sharing with people that now I am currently separated from my husband. And this is the way my family dynamics look right now. But once I opened up, I'm like, I might as well go ahead and gut punch his ass right now. Like he has been, because to be honest, guys, this is the first blow I've thrown back to him since it all happened. And they've been doing shit to me nonstop. You're going to get this stuff in some stories. You're going to see the dirty shit. Y'all ain't see nothing dirty yet. You're going to see how dirty they got after I discovered everything was going on. I'm going to divulge everything that I possibly can without ruining the whole divorce situation and what I'm after, and without trying to put their names out there so they can go after me legally. So I'm trying to be meticulous in the way that I am delivering. Now, I do have people in the comments, and a lot of people are saying like, you're oversharing. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Because you have no idea how great this thing is.
No clue.
They have no
clue.
Risa Tisa has absolutely nothing on me. As I divulge more and more for you guys, your mind is going to be blown. Like yesterday, I said, sit down before I even tell you the story, because I knew it was going to knock you off your feet. I know what I've been through, and I know it's not normal. It's not normal to have close family members betray you like that. You see that stuff on Jerry Springer. You see that stuff on TV. It's not supposed to happen in your real life. And while I was so busy being mom and dad to these boys and being a wife and doing everything else, they were behind my back, just taking that knife and pushing it in further and twisting and turning in every direction that it would go. You're going to probably identify some things through some of my stories from some of your past relationships. I don't know. Maybe sometimes when I'm speaking, you can identify what parts of the stories that I'm sharing. But you're right. I just see where Eliza said it's wicked. Very wicked. Very, very wicked. And these family members, we came from the sandbox together. Always were considered best friends. And we were living in the same development. It's so crazy. It's crazy. And they used to call me on the phone every day throughout the day. We used to speak constantly throughout the day. And I'm going to share something today, but it's going to be in one of my future uploads. But I said before, I know all of their secrets, but I never told their spouses, married. I never told their spouses or boyfriends and stuff, because I knew it would rip their families to shreds. I can produce the proof to their partners if I decided to tell, because everything was hidden in my home with me. Everything was brought, all their proof that would get them in trouble is here, and it's still here with me in my home. That's crazy. But I just like to take the high road on any situation. I'll tell you what I did. I prayed. I fell to my knees. T.D. Jakes, Steve Harvey, Joel Osteen. It was a lot of them that got me through the situation. When you guys were sleeping at night peacefully, and they were too. Don't know how they can do it, but they were. I wasn't. I spent a lot of nights in the middle of the nights up crying because they changed my whole family dynamic as far as my boys concerned. It's not about me. It's about these babies. They were already given a bad hand. My son is incarcerated. Their MOM is nowhere to be found. They have no idea who she is. They look at me as if they came out of me. And that's a lot to bear already. And I did all of that while following this fool and his children into this country. I gave him everything that my kids didn't have. I gave them stability. You know, I gave them, I gave my husband a mother, my mother. I shared my mother with him. He had his mother. His mother is older, much older and sick. And if you watch my channels, like I know Miss Deb and Tamika did, you probably remember a time when he went over to Africa. And guess who sponsored that trip, guys? No other than his wife. I mean, I did everything. I went above and beyond. And never in my wildest dream would I ever imagine that this man would turn around and do me so dirty. You wouldn't think that with all that I did for you, just bringing you and your children into this country and giving y'all a new life that you would never be able to get. This is the payment you give me. So thank you so much. You guys know when he finally became an American citizen, I shared all of that on that other channel. I remember the video. I went through the immigrations process, showed you guys what we went through. He was in the car. It was our final day to face immigrations. I did everything in real life. And that was in the end of September. I believe it was the 26th of September of 2022. Is it a coincidence that we separated on December 13th, 2022? So I got you to where you needed to be. So what happened, guys, and you'll hear it unfold, but what happened was the family have some issue with me. I don't know what it is. These mother and daughter team. But then he equally claimed that he had an issue with me. So I figure, now that I'm thinking back, they used one another. He used them and they in turn used him to get at me because I don't even think they have contact anymore. I don't think so. They could very well, but I don't think so. So all of this for what? All of this for what? I know he is regretting it, Eliza. I was very good to him. I'm gonna show you guys, and I thought I never would, but I think I may open up my video one more time because I put that away and said I never wanted to see it again. I have the video of our ceremony, and I was just gonna put it up. So I'm thinking about it, not really sold on it yet, of sharing it so you guys can view it, and I might put it up for just one day on my community tab so everybody can see where we was mentally when we started. And just know that these family members are in that footage. You're going to see them. I can't tell you who they are, but they're in there. They were there for season
finale. Save that for the season finale. I said save that for the season finale.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna show you guys where everything started. You'll see the actual ceremony. You'll see oh my God, it's a real in-depth look at the marriage. You will see it. I don't know if you know, with the African tradition, they spray you with money, you know, so you'll see a lot of that. You'll see the whole ceremony. He would never ever see something like that again. And I don't understand how you ruined that. Now, I don't want you guys to take away that he was a terribly bad husband from day one, because that wasn't the case, or else I wouldn't have married him. It's just now at the end, and still to this day, he tells people, and I shared with you a video where I hit him, and I told you guys I never hit him again after that, because I felt bad. You're not supposed to put your hands on anybody. I don't condone in that at all in any relationship. Equally, I mean, I don't think a man should put his hands on a woman. I don't think a woman should. Right. But in that moment, your wife comes in and some woman calling you in the middle of the night, and I come down to get you, and I'm asking you, and you playing like you sleep, and I'm reading where you've been telling her, I'll call you when I get on break, or I'll call you after work, or I'll call you this, and when I picked up the phone, she's like, I know it's late over there, but so you're just gonna disrespect? You know it's late over there, you still calling? So, you know, with all of that going on, that's where the hit came from. Do I regret it? Yeah, but do I regret it? No. I'm struggling with that. I know I shouldn't have hit him, but I don't regret it. More so no than yeah. He is regretting it every day. Unfortunately, I still run across this fool. I just saw him. Today is Saturday. I saw him on Monday. We rode past each other. It keeps happening like that. There's one coming up peekaboo. Look out for that one. There's one coming up peekaboo, but it's gonna be on the other side of the separation. Once I get some of this other stuff, but you'll remember that I told you it's gonna be one called peekaboo. He did a lot, guys. He did a lot. Even after the separation, he goes around telling people like, "I love my wife. Ain't nobody getting my wife." He still say that to this day. Is he crazy? He tells my mother, "I'm never divorcing her." I said, because he don't understand the American law. See, they misguided him and misled him, but they didn't tell him everything that comes after this whole separation. It's not like we were dating and we separated. Brother, we was married. It's separated. See, over there, and I'll share this with y'all, when he first came over here, he was still on paper married to his children's mother. He traveled back to Africa. Unbeknownst to me, I didn't even know this man was, I knew he liked me like that, and he kept asking me to marry him, but I wasn't taking him serious. I shared that before. He traveled back to Africa and got his divorce, and he came back with papers in hand, and then he asked me to marry him. So she was here in the States. You don't have to be present in Nigeria to get divorced. He served the papers to her family member, and that's what I said. Oh, this fool still think he in Nigeria. You think he can serve y'all? And my mom be like, "Well, he said he ain't divorcing his wife." She loved to say that to me. She know it burns me up, and she be laughing. I said, "Mom, will you please stop saying that? They're not even allowed to say his name to me. Okay? Is that serious? I don't want to hear it." The kids don't want nothing to do with him. And that's unfortunate because they were attached to him. If you go and watch my other channel, you'll see it. He was the barber. He stopped cutting their hair. He stopped doing everything. So my thing is, if you disconnect from me and you have a problem with me, don't do that to my babies. We already got dealt a wrong hand. You know this. I'm going to let you guys know something. I was living in a house, and I sold the house, and I put all my stuff in storage. And you might be hearing this for the first time too, because you was gone at this point, Mr. Riggs. And I moved in with my parents because I was, in 2 weeks later, I was moving on to Africa. I was relocating. But this is how good God is. I had to stay because TJ, the now 10-year-old, was born. And his mother was going through some things where she couldn't keep him. And they contacted me as the grandma, because the other grandma equally have issues. So she couldn't have him. So they go to the next, the paternal grandmother. And so I showed up in court that next week on Monday, and I came home with TJ. TJ is what kept me here. So then the plans was rerouted, and we brought Africa to America. But I was going there. But that's how God worked. And I keep looking back and saying, that was my sign. That was my sign right there. But I didn't see it like that. I looked at it like a sign I wasn't supposed to leave the U.S. because now I'm going to get these kids. And another thing, and Tamika knows this, and maybe Miss Debbie, she's still here. I only have one child. He's 34. I wanted more children. I wanted 10 kids. Mm-hmm. I had my son at 17. When I turned 35, I got pregnant again for the second time. I carried it about 2.5 months, and then I miscarried. It was with an African gentleman. His parents was like, "You gotta get her pregnant again." That's the guy that was the prince. I told you guys about a story recently where I was with a guy who was a prince. So his mother and them were like, "You gotta get her pregnant again. You gotta get her pregnant immediately now that she miscarried." And we did. And I got pregnant again. My birthday had came, so I turned 36, and I got pregnant again. And I got to about 4 months, and I miscarried. And that was very mental for me. I went through counseling for that. I went through grief counseling because I had to have the emergency D&C split. I I had a problem. I went in my room, shut the doors, and I talked to God openly, and I asked him, why would he punish me like that? There are a lot of women out here having babies, and they can carry, and they don't treat these children right. They're not in their lives or whatever. And then there's somebody like me who desire to have more children, and I can't bear them. At the time that I had the DNC scrape, the doctor offered me, right before I went under, if I wanted him to do a chromosomal analysis so we could figure out what was wrong. And I said yes. So while I was under and he did the scrape, he took what he needed. And this analysis, he said, would come back in 8 weeks. 8 weeks later, I was healed, moved on. I was back to work. And I remember I was out at a bowling party with my clients. And when I got the call from the doctor, and he called like, hey, Ms. Chandler, you bowling? And I was like, well, I'm not actually bowling because I didn't know if it was safe, but I'm here with my clients at a bowling party. And he said, well, you can go ahead and bowl because everything is good for you. He was like, the problem is not you, but we can have your partner come in and we can do some testing. Didn't have to happen because I had a heart-to-heart with him. And I'm like, well, the doctor said it wasn't me. I got the phone call today. And I'm like, is there anything that you can tell me? And come to find out, some years, maybe 10 years before I met him, he had himself nipped. And it came, obviously it reversed. It can reverse. And so he thought if he was able to impregnate me, then it was reversed. And he never thought that that was the issue. But that turned out to be the issue. So I was so upset. And I, kept asking God, like, I don't understand. When I finally got past it mentally and just moved on, 2 years later, what happened? My first grandson was born. When I found out my son had a baby on the way, I just fell to my knees and I was so embarrassed. And I apologized to God. I can't apologize enough for questioning, because he knew that he was going to give me my babies vicariously through my son. I just didn't know it. And here I am. I have the 4 boys. I wanted 10. My son claimed he's not done. I hope he's done now. Now that I'm older, my older boy sees himself say, you keep saying, Mom, I got to give you a princess. No, you don't. No, you don't. I got enough. Thank you very much. Because I call my son Rock. Anybody here ever see that old show Rock where the guy kept bringing trash home? That's what I call my son. But we're not going to talk about their situation because that's a whole story that we might get into eventually too. But that's the family name for my son. We call him Rock. Once I called him Rock, it stuck, and everybody be like, "How Rock doing? You talked to Rock today?" Yeah, he bring trash. Like, there's 2 baby moms with him, but neither one of them, are good women. It's unfortunate. But hello, Ruthie. Thank you so much for coming in. Appreciate having you, Queen. Yes, Tamika, Rock. I call him Rock, and now everybody calls him Rock. Unfortunately, and I don't like to belittle other women, but you got me raising your kids. And when these kids, you see their stair steps, right? So they were 3, 2, and 1 at the time. And I'm riding down the street taking them to the doctors. And who do I see crossing the street? There, right around the corner. She hangs from where I live now 5 minutes. Not even. They have no idea who she is. It's very unfortunate. But thank you for coming in, beautiful. Good to have you here in Friday's Kitchen. Thank you, Friday. I saw where you saw yesterday's, and you were laughing at the pizza card too. I haven't responded in the comments yet, but I promise I'm getting better at that, guys. I will be there. And if you see just like a thumbs up and a heart, it's the kids. They're earning money by helping me out with my comments now. So they're kind of helping out. So please don't charge it to my heart. Just charge it to my head, y'all. But I'm waiting for Mr. Riggs to pop back on because I want to hear from another man, more of his perspective on how he would handle something like that. Because that's just crazy to me. I did everything for this man. When he came here, he couldn't work. You guys heard me say where I had to file him, and then we had to wait on the work authorization and all the other paperwork, the travel authorization, everything. And I was held accountable for him legally. So I'm just gonna say it to anybody who may be dating somebody from a different culture, who may have to go through the whole immigrations process. Take it from me, and I'm not gonna charge it to every foreigner, because every foreigner isn't the guy that I married. The man he is now isn't the guy that I married. I don't know who that is. I don't know who he is. But just do your homework. I know I did have a few people question me like, "Are you sure?" But ever since I was a little girl, I was always attracted to African men. That's just my thing. I told you my husband was not the first. He was actually the fourth. Will I date another African? No, I think I'm retired from African. But I promise you this, probably won't be in another American man. I'm just not interested in America. I'm sorry, Mr. Riggs. I know you came in on that.
That's cool. I was trying to catch a pizza car.
The pizza car.
Yeah, where nobody stopped for me right there. My bad.
Oh my God. I know y'all wasn't prepared for that. I always try to leave on my community tabs. Lately I have been trying to. The thumbnail, and I'll ask you guys, take a guess what you think the story is going to be about. Only one time the young lady hit it. It was the moving day. And a lot of people were guessing, he left you to move on his own, or he moved out while you were at home, or he took everything and was going while you was at work. But she was like, oh, he probably left you to do all the work, and he bounced on you when it was time to do the work. She was the closest one. So she kind of hit it. He did leave me to do all the work, just to work in this physical home, while he was out moving somebody else. And I know the stories are crazy, but I'm telling y'all, I can't make it up. This is my life. Mr. Riggs was here at the tail end of it all, and he saw when I went through. Well, we were still together when you came back, and you saw some of that, but it was more towards, I got to go. He got to go.
Yeah.
He's crazy.
Yeah,
I was hearing stories I know.
Remember, I came in on the end where I was talking with the boys. And remember, we were supposed to meet.
My oldest grandson. Okay, I'll share that with you. So my oldest grandson was having issues because, he's always been here with me, right? I would always get him every weekend, all the holidays, summers, and everything, because he had his own mom. I always wanted him to be right in here with the other boys. I didn't want him to feel slighted. And it's just the right thing to do, because those mothers don't get along, right? So he was always present here. Whenever I picked him up, I never even brought a bag, because I had everything he needed here. Just later on when he did have to move with us, because during the time right before the fool acted up and I got exposed to what was going on, my grandson's maternal grandmother passed away, and that's who was raising him. And so I had to take him in full time. And I know Tamika was there for that. Friday's Kitchen probably was around for that. It's on my other channel, guys, where he had to come here and live with us. And so even though I'm grandmom, because it went through diapers, they were involved again. So I brought you guys along for the process. And for anybody that don't know, I am a foster parent too. So I do take in foster children. I just don't put them in the videos because I'm not allowed to. You can't put them out like that. So even I had my oldest grandson, once I got him for a year, and near the end, it kept coming up that they didn't even want me to have him in the content. And he had his own channel, but that was okay. But me to put him out there, even though I'm grandmom, I was wearing the hat of a foster parent until I would have gave him back to his mother, which that's where he is, or I would have adopted him. So you have to go by the rules of the state. Even though you're grandmom, you still got to kind of follow the rules, because I am a foster parent and you can't blur the lines. So respectfully, I made a video and I told everybody that they wouldn't see him in the content anymore. And even now that all of that has blown over and he's back with his mother and everything is good, he's grown up and he don't want to be in the content anymore. So I can't put him in the content. So I said recently, if you want to see him, you would have to go back to the old content. And I think he is actually in the picture on my other channel. It's me and all 4 of the boys. So he is in some of the other content over there. He's just not over here. But if he comes here and he want to get in, you guys will see him. I'll introduce you to him. He looks just like the other boys. It's like they all got my son's face like stamped on them. But Mr. Riggs. You don't think that you would? Okay, so my family comes to you and talk negatively about you, and we're in a relationship. What are you doing?
What am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
If they're coming to me talking negative about you, first I'm gonna let you know, and then I'm separating from them. I don't want to hear that shit. I mean, I'm sorry, hear that stuff.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not having that. I mean,
So what are you saying to them?
Huh?
What are you saying to them? You gonna let them talk?
No. My job as a man in a relationship is to defend you against everybody. It's like being in the military, foreign and domestic. I got your back. I mean, so you're not gonna disrespect my wife, not in front of me, and not hear my mouth. Matter of fact, by the time I get done cursing everybody out, I'm not even welcome there no more.
That's what everybody. I mean, women are saying this. How did they even get to the point where they even just, y'all, they talked for 4+ years.
Yeah, that's the comfortability he gave them.
That's a whole lot of betrayal.
Yeah.
I know the timeline because, and I'm going to share that with y'all when we get to, and I already know I'm going to title this particular video, D-Day, because I want y'all to know this is the day that I found out everything that was going on. And if you think I blew your mind with the little bit I gave you now, you're not even ready for what's going to come. And you're not ready for how well I think I handled it. I think you already know because I said I never even struck back yet. Never. But when y'all hear about all the stuff they did to me, you're not going to believe it.
I'm going to get you a shirt. It's going to say IYKYK. That's what we're going to get you a shirt. Go say that.
You know. That's right. That's right. But I just don't understand how a grown-ass man sat in the midst of these conversations and kept visiting there daily. Wouldn't even come home because he was too busy going over there. And I think back now on the way they used to call me, questioning me about things. Like, I used to feel like they're like, why did she ask me that? But I didn't know. But I identified that it was a bit strange. They questioned me, why you ain't let him cut hair in the house no more? What? Do you know what's going on out there?
No.
So I'm supposed to just let these people come all through my... First of all, before I even go there, if you got to tell me what to do in my house, then I don't need to be the woman of the house. You don't question me. That's just it. You don't pay nothing here. How do you pick up the phone and call and question me why I stopped him from cutting hair in my house? Like you don't know it's a whole global pandemic.
Again,
I cut here up until then, and I told him you got to move that crowd somewhere else. I got these little ones and myself, and we all need to be safe. And I can say to this day that we never had that in this household yet. Knock on wood, never. Because of me. But even after the separation, they still kept throwing that in my face. You didn't want him to make money. You stopped him from cutting hair. Got him.
Oh, okay. Well, see, I don't even know what to say because you know where I want to go. I'm ready to talk about some holidays.
You can't go there yet.
Yeah.
I gotta give them that story yet. I gotta give that story. If you guys want to ask me anything again about any of the content that I put out so far, if you want some clarification, don't feel like you're prying. I put it out there. It's public knowledge. You can ask anything. If you have anything to say, I'm not offended. You can say how you feel. He's a fool. He's a nut, whatever. I put it out there. It's public knowledge. I don't want anybody to feel like they may be sparing me in the comments. I know that we're all like-minded because you guys keep reporting here to get the next upload, and you can obviously relate and be like, oh, hell no, I get it. Trust me, I get it. Frugal Mama, welcome. Thank you for being here, beautiful. Yeah, it's an open forum here. It's like a job. It's an open door. You can say what you need, but like
But
I
you
said,
already know me.
anything that is going to kind of give away some future content, I'm not going to touch it yet because
Well,
I'd rather eat and give it to you the way I want to deliver it to you.
Well, people on the panel, you already know how I do. I'm always open. You got any questions, my comments, thoughts, whatever? Yo, load that gun up and fire away. Fire
Let's
away.
have it. Was he a loving man? He was. He was. He loved on me in the beginning, guys, up until I can't pinpoint the day it shifted. I just know around the time period when things shifted. And according to him, when he spoke to his family, they were upset that I put my hands on him. So again, a grown ass man, somebody got to tell you how you feel about this. And then you got to take that and run with it. That's a problem. That's a problem. Do I regret anything? Absolutely, I do. Absolutely, I do. I gave all of this goodness to the wrong person. We're going to leave it there because I know what I offer.
Okay.
I gave it all to the wrong person. And it really was hard for me to make a decision, guys, because I come from parents who were married 54 years when my father passed away a couple years ago, right? So I always said that I was one and done. I walked around saying this all the time because that's what I wholeheartedly wanted. I wanted to be one and done. And it was really, really hard for me to disconnect because I'm not even thinking about him and all that foolishness. I'm thinking about the vows I made before God and how, what I spoke into the universe. And I just felt like even if I'm not going to be with him, I probably shouldn't divorce, but it's not fair to me. I had to go through, like I said, we went family counseling because this just didn't affect me. My babies are affected. I had to go through a lot of counseling and talking to folk at the church and everything before I realized it's okay. You didn't do anything wrong. He disconnected from you. So you're just going along with it. And I'm going to tell you guys what made it easy for me to just flip the switch and be okay with it. Because it was just one day that I went to church and the pastor announced that he was going through a divorce. And I'm like, this is a man of God. And if his didn't work and he can say it publicly, then I can just go ahead and pull them gloves off since they've been fighting me all along. And I can. And the moment I got home, I don't know, it might not be much to y'all, but it felt like a great deal to me. I went straight to Facebook, petty, and put separated. Because he had already put some stuff out there and I still was like shying away. I didn't want to log on to Facebook because I didn't want to see stuff. But I felt empowered just doing that. Just like, okay, so now I get to tell. So I did that. And my girlfriend called like, girl, you put it on Facebook. I said, what? She's like, you put separated. And I just
remember that.
So vindicated. I did. It might, like I said, it's the smallest things. But when you're in a dark space that I was in, and you just had so much coming at you and you don't know where, and I didn't know where to start trying to figure things out. What I knew I had to do first was financially make sure we're secure. So I had to go there first before I can even deal with everything that I'm really, really going through. I had to secure more work and I had to make sure that I came up with a plan. So I did that. I sat down and did a spreadsheet for the bills and everything. And it was a mess, but guess what? Nothing ever skipped a beat. But you guys are going to see some upcoming content where they tried to hurt me. Or they was trying to hurt me financially and everything, yo. I'm talking about after the separation. They were still guiding him. And I know you saw one where I had like the puppet master hands over the head where I'm holding my head. That's exactly how I felt in the moment after the separation. It got worse than when I was living in the house trying to figure out what the heck is going on. Can you imagine that? After you separate and the person is out, it get actually worse? It did. You guys have a lot coming. I got a lot coming out for you guys. I actually, between last night and this morning, I put 5 videos together for all of this next coming week. So when I get off today, The rest of the day, I'm gonna stay committed. I'm gonna keep filming content. Because there's like 2 more areas I need to clean. So you see what I'm doing. This is a cleaning and organization channel, so I'm giving them that. So I stay in my niche, but they can't control what I'm saying on my voiceovers. So I'm bringing it all together, and that's how I was able to come up with this master plan. Like, do this and talk about this because it keeps people interested, and then you're still giving them the cleaning content, and you're not doing anything wrong. I do have a video where after we separated, Mr. Riggs met me with there was your cousin's children you had that day and my kids when we were coming from church, and we met up and did a play date at the park. That thing made him so mad. You guys gonna hear about that. There is a video on the channel of the actual footage of us having the play date. And I said I have a special guest, but he still don't know who Mr. Riggs is. He see this face because they watching the channel, y'all. Oh, they watching the channel. Didn't I share with you guys that? Yeah, I did. In the content, I said that some of the people in the African culture called me like, my sister, please, you don't have to do this. Just please cut it off. I said, absolutely not. Absolutely not. For the past 2 years, they chose their audience and they chose what they were going to tell, right? So now that I'm healed and I'm able, I chose my audience and I'm choosing how I'm telling my story. So no, don't ask me to stop anything.
Now, Wanda, I was confused for a while how the boys talked about me in the house. He even, remember, he wanted to meet me and everything. And I couldn't understand how you didn't know who I was, but ever since, he was trying to flag down the pizza card, I understand.
The kids were talking openly about you. And this is why, guys, I have a whole man, a husband in the home with me, and I have a child that I moved in that was giving me problems, and I asked him to address that as the man in the home. And he was too busy out there gossiping and creating stories and stuff that was on the forefront for him. So I asked my friend, who is from the military, you guys, if you don't know, and I had him come and talk to the guys. But before he even talked to them in person, over the phone, those kids were intimidated by him. They were like, yes, sir. No, sir. And did you do your homework today? And then you had one of them where they had to call you every day without me telling them. They had to come and borrow my phone and call you and check in with you every day.
Yeah.
But a man that's living in a house didn't have, he didn't do anything. He didn't do anything. And so that's how I kept my boys in line. My son, their dad, isn't available right now. So I utilized my good friend, Mr. Riggs, and I had a man in the house. It doesn't make sense. You're also going to hear a story how I had to go to the ER and Mr. Riggs was there for me. We're not going to give it all away. I'm just going to tell you about some of the content that's coming up. But guys, when you see the one that's called D-Day, make sure you tune in. And bring tissue. I'm not going to say bring tea. And I'm not going to say bring popcorn. I'm going to say bring tissue. Because it's going to be as vulnerable as I possibly can give it to you. I'm going to relive it. I always relive it when I have to talk about it. It always breaks me down. It's raw. So bring tissue that day. Latanya, welcome, Google Mom. Latanya and Tamika are two of my original subscribers from my first channel.
Okay.
They found me when I first started the channel. Both of them, I believe, threw a shout out. But yes, and they've been rocking with me from day one.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I love when I see them in there, because when I see them in there, I know my live stream or my video is complete now. And there's one more, but she's not on anymore. Helenista, my sissy, she's not on. Anymore. She stopped for a while. She got some things going on, but she would always be in the chats too.
Okay. What about the good brother though?
He still go on Sundays.
Okay.
I'm gonna drop you his link so you can go see him. He's still on
definitely.
Mm-hmm.
That'll work.
But Latanya, you just came in and Frugal Mama, if it's anything you want to ask me about any of the content that I put out so far, feel free. If it's anything you want to say about the content that I put out so far, feel free. I know the pizza car was everybody's favorite so far. I know that pizza car was everybody's favorite. But when y'all hear next Fridays, because I decided for anybody that came in later that on Fridays I'm gonna give you like a little funnier content, like some of the crazy things that he did. And my girlfriend already told me which one she want me to put out next week or Friday. So that one I just got to do the voiceover. It's already put together. She said the pizza car had her in disbelief. I'm done. Listen. Can you imagine me driving that car? I almost ran into a building when he was so serious, like, Mama, is that a pizza car? And I'm like, yeah. Like I was looking like, the hell?
Let's see. Now I'm wondering, what do the cabs in Africa look like?
You know, so many people ask me that.
That's what I thought
I was going to get in the comment section. I really thought that I was going to get that in the comment section. I'm sorry. That's my friend keeps calling. I called him back, trying to lock it out. It comes up on my computer too.
Locked in. Okay.
Oh my God. I know it was sad. Listen, Latanya, it was hurtful, honey. It was like nothing I've ever been through because I had so much on me. I had putting him out of the home and taking away the male image that they had and that was always there, right? Because they already don't have their parents. So that, listen, before anything that affects me, I think about my babies first. If anybody that know me know that my babies is first and foremost for anything.
Yeah.
That thing really bothered me.
And you know, we was on deck with that. We was on deck.
Even when he left, even when the decision was final, I packed up his stuff, guys. I'll tell y'all all about that day too. But I was the one that physically packed his belongings. And he went and was telling everybody, I went up and down the steps 8 times taking my belongings and she never tried to stop me.
I remember that.
I ain't trying to stop that. Up. And y'all, I ain't toss it nowhere. That's not my character. I took my time and I put bags over everything that was on the hangers and tied it so he could just carry it out, sort of like hanging bag style. And I folded things nice and neat. And I bought totes. Like, this is your going away gift. And I packed everything up nice and neat.
You should have let me help. I'd have brought some totes. I'd have set some totes out there to y'all.
Listen.
Or some chocolates and a card.
I love this brother right here. Like, he's from my mother. When he left the home and I called you and said it's done, this man started patrolling around here every day, all day. And we have patrol, but he patrolled over here to watch me and these boys. He came over. I would come in from my night job. I would get off at 11, get them boys by 11:30. By 1:15, we was here. And guess who was sitting in the parking lot escorting us in the house? This man right here. He went to the mailbox because the fool still was going to the mailbox. So he was going to the mailbox for me, so I wouldn't even have to see him there. He was working at the Walmart. I shared that with you guys. Just 5 minutes from where we were living. And if I needed to go to Walmart, because I still to this day don't go to that Walmart. Because I don't know when he's there part-time. I still drive all the way around to the other one. And everybody like, you better than me. I said, no. I don't want to be. I hate when I cross paths with him on the road. Like I said earlier, I just passed him Monday. And I'm going to tell you guys some stories about those incidents too. One specifically I mentioned earlier called Peekaboo. But I just come up with some titles according to what's going on in the content I'm sharing with y'all. Don't know where it's coming from. It must be the spirit telling me how to title these things to draw y'all in. But it's working. You guys, y'all know I'm sure y'all all knew before the pizza car that I was married to a fool. But that was when I realized, like, he really ain't playing. He's a fool. Everybody loved that. Everybody loved that.
It's a pizza cars. He gotta be.
That was so fun. Yo, I never expected that. We were driving home and the music was playing, and the baby was just telling me it was a pizza car. And I'm like, yeah, baby, it's a pizza car. And then he was like, a whole lot of pizza cars. And I'm like, uh-huh. And then the fool identified it. And somebody said, well, he couldn't read in English, like to know that was a Domino's car. That was crazy.
Excuse me, Wanda. I'm getting my lunch right now, if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind. It's more stories like that. So on Fridays, I'm going to give y'all something to laugh for the weekend. But yeah, I was just putting it out here. I came on so anybody that didn't officially know me, because I don't really go live over here too much, can get to know who I am, get to know my personality outside of the videos. If there's anything you wanted me to clarify, if there's anything you wanted to ask or say or suggest, feel free. If it's anything you want me to share and it's not going to affect my divorce or anything legally, I'll do it. No problem. Because the day I pulled them gloves off, they came off and they're not going back on. I have been very good up until now. I have. I'm not going to change who I am. I'm just going to make him regret it. I will share this before I go. Recently, he was at a function and one of my girlfriends were there. I think I told you this was good. And he was sitting alone. And I was at work and I saw a text come in from my girlfriend with an image. So I opened it and she was like, is this your husband? No, Tanya, I don't have to pay him anything. She said, is this your husband? And I said, she said, he's here alone, just sitting alone. I said, that's what his life is now. I said, what you see is his new reality. He is alone. He has no friends. All of the friends that he had in the circle of Africans are my friends and family, and they all disconnected from him.
Like the mechanic shop?
Yeah. The shop that they hung at every day, that he cut hair where everybody was. I'm just going to give y'all a little hint. He was doing things, not only to me, he was doing things around to different people. So when I said earlier, I don't know who that is, I honestly don't know who this individual is. I learned more about him after we separated, because other people, this circle of friends, that's his people, right, started sharing things with me that he was doing all along. And I was like, why didn't y'all tell me? And most of them are like, well, and I kind of get it. In the moment, I was mad when I was hearing these things that was going on, and nobody told me. And I'm like, but y'all all so willing to share it now, but why didn't y'all tell me then? And they were like, well, we didn't know if he had you like had your mind, like that's your husband. It's hard to tell somebody something about their partner and they gonna go. And I get that. I do get that. But I'm like, y'all should have saw the type of individual I am. I have my own mind. I'm not stupid. But I guess, some people do be crazy in love. And they really didn't know if they can trust to tell me that. And I wouldn't, turn on them with him, I guess. So I kind of get it. They all think alike. They from the same culture. It makes sense to me now. And I don't hate anybody that didn't share, because I even told you guys on my other channel in all those live streams that if I knew something, I wouldn't share. So I get it. I'm not mad at anybody. Those people still invite me to places. Some of them have Cashapp me money for me and the kids because they were so angry that I had to take on everything myself. They still reach out to me all the time. I just tell them, don't tell me anything about him. I don't want to hear anything about him. I don't care if y'all seen him. I don't care. Just don't tell me anything. He's going to try and come back. I don't know if you was in here, Tanya, when he's still telling his mom, like, nobody's getting my wife. I'm not ever divorcing her. And I'm like, does he really think it's his choice? Like, this man's crazy. He's crazy.
Miss Tanya, I'm gonna take it like that. Real nice. I wish a ninja would. I think that's all good. I wish a ninja would.
I can't. Well, y'all know the DPU content where I don't pick up. He go through different apps and try to call. I would be at work because I changed my job locations and everything. I didn't want him to have any access to me, right? And for some reason, my sister was like, "You be careful when you're going in and out of work because I think he's following you." The way he knows, it was the timing in which he was reaching out or texting that let her know, like, he knows where you are because he's right on time with these texts when he's saying certain things. I'm gonna share that with you guys, it became obvious to me, like, you know what? I think he is, and I screenshot them and showed them to you. Mm-hmm. And they were right around the time that it was time for me to get off, or it was as soon as I got to work. And I'm like, why are you even reaching out to me? I don't want to hear from you. My family members said I'm dead to them.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They said I'm dead. And I'm okay with that. So I keep saying, why y'all keep reaching out to a dead woman? Every time somebody say to me, well, they say, they feel as though you got all the family backing you and they're by themselves. I said, well, they created this mess. And they didn't just do it once. They did this over a 4-year span. So they were clear on the stance they took and where they stood. So don't feel bad that the outcome is not the way you predicted it. You got to understand, this one family member is older than me, and I look up to the individual, so they think they still have that mind control. Anybody that knows me, and I'm going to even talk about the ones in the chat, Latanya, Tamika, your pleasure. Welcome. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate having you, Queen. And anybody else from my older channel news. I like an audience. That's why I can do a live stream like nobody's business. Please check out some of my other content over there. We did a lot of adult talk, me and Mr. Riggs together. But I shared something with them before. I'm very shy when I meet a man and I'm one-to-one. I even told you that before. I'm very shy. However, when you put me in front of a crowd, I'm going to show my entire behind, even the stretch marks. I'm showing. And that's where they messed up. They let me get here where I'm able to be strong enough to talk about it. Because there was times, guys, I couldn't talk. Just the thought of it made me cry. Because I had to keep seeing how these babies were affected. But I will share right now how I transitioned the kids. I had to get really creative. So when I packed him up and sent him from the home, the kids were right there. I fed them dinner. And then I sent them downstairs. They had 2 TVs in their room, and I set up 2 game systems, and they was down there having game night. And I made a charcuterie board and set them up with treats and everything. And I told them, after game night, we're going to have movie night, and I'm coming down with y'all. But let me go upstairs and clean. I went and packed that ninja. That's why I told y'all I ain't packed nothing sloppy. I packed it nice and neat. I went and bought totes and everything because I knew it was happening. And he did. He took the trips and took everything out. And he told everybody. I didn't even help him. Well, I didn't even try to stop him when he took 8 trips up and down. And so he was not hanging in the house. If you remember in my content, I was saying he'd leave 4:30 in the morning. He'd get off 2:30 in the afternoon. And he do come to the development. He just wasn't coming home. He was going to his best friend's house, or he was going to my family member's house, running his mouth. He would run his mouth for another whole shift. It was like he was doing doubles. When he was coming here, we were down. We were sleeping. And so we didn't see him. So I used that, like, okay, so they haven't been seeing much of him anyway. So then I put his suitcases that he borrowed from me the last time he traveled by the door. And I said to the guy, they said, when they got up the next morning, I dressed him. They was like, is he going to Africa again? And I said, yep, he's going to see his mom again. Crossed my fingers and toes. I felt so bad lying to them. But I said he is. And I had to do that because when they know he goes to Africa, it's for long periods of time. And so I thought the transition would become easier and easier. So I said to them, so you know he cut your hair. He's not going to be here. So I have to take you guys to the barbershop. They were never at a barbershop because he was an in-home barber. So once they went to the barbershop and got that experience, and I videoed it, just didn't tell everybody what was going on. They loved it. So going to the barbershop was not a thing. And now he just went out of our lives because the only thing he really had to do outside of what I was doing was take out the trash every day. Well, I can do that. And my boys got bigger. Who you think do all that? Who you think bring all the groceries? And if y'all remember seeing grocery uploads, we had them doing it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I got shorts. I have videos, long form content, short form content of the children. I've always had them involved. I spoiled my child. I had one child. And I saw where I went wrong spoiling him. And I said, I ain't going to do that this go around. I'm going, even though they got me playing the role of mom, I'm still grandma. So I did things completely different. So they're hands on everything. And you can see in my uploads in the very beginning when I first started sharing things, I showed how the boys can actually do the shopping. I stood behind the cart and y'all seen them doing it because they were out there saying that I'm doing nothing with these kids. They made it seem like he did everything and I was out running the streets. Well, if y'all was watching my content, who was always home and who wasn't? These are the things you can't lie about. So that's why I said I'm not going to talk too much where it's going to hurt me when it comes to the divorce and everything, because I'm going to share the links to my channels with whoever I need to so they can see the stuff. I don't have to open my mouth. It's there. And I know I'm going to win. But one thing they didn't do, these fools, with all that guiding him or misguiding him and telling him do this and don't do that. I'm telling y'all, they told him exactly how to handle me. Because like I said, we came up, the child and I, from the sandbox. They know me. They know my way that I think and all that, right? But I'm no fool. I don't care how close you are to me. You're not going to know everything about me, and I can flip the script. So what I do with you family, you think that's the same way I interact with my friends? You think I'm the same person with my friends? No. I let my hair down over there. And I do just like me in the house with the kids. You think I'm the same grandma when I go out for ladies' night? So they thought they just knew me. I was just in this box as far as they was concerned. So they knew how to tell him, do this, do that. She not used to this. Ain't no man ever do this to her, because they were there all these years. Yeah, but I had something for all their asses. And I can't wait for y'all to see D-Day. It's gonna, the pizza car ain't got nothing on the day I found out. It was crazy. And it was a low blow, but it was so necessary. PMC, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Good brother, good brother. What thought about?
He just asked about you. He just asked,
sure,
have you been here? And I told him you still go live every week, and I was going to give him your channel. But if it's, again, before I go, if there's anything you guys want to know, want clarified about anything we share, well, I've shared so far, because Mr. Riggs is kind of behind the scene, guys. He knows what I'm uploading. I normally share, I upload it, and I can even share links secretly and let a few of them look at it, and they'll be like, yeah, that's a go. Put that one out. So I do that with my friends and family. They see it before you guys see it. But you try to catch the replay. Okay. Thank you so much. I'm an open book, but I still have to be very careful, because with all of that misguiding, they never told this fool about alimony. Nobody ever told him. Nobody ever told him. So if you're out there and you're watching, and I know you are, get prepared, because that thing is still going to go. We ain't divorced yet. You still got to pay for the day you walk out of here, bro. So all that little extra money you making, and I know where you're located. I know every day. Don't think I don't know. I know everything. They don't know. I do. I know everything. So when, let me go back to that story I was telling y'all about my girlfriend seeing him at a party. She saw him. She sent me the picture, and she said, he just sitting there alone. He was. In fact, the picture had him sitting at a table. It didn't even have a tablecloth on his table. It was just a couple bottles of wine I can see on the corner of the table, and just him sitting down with his cell phone, just looking at his cell phone. And I told her, yeah, that's symbolic of his life. That's what his life is looking like right now. That's a perfect picture. And it made me laugh. I shared it with folks, like, look at this fool at a party right now. And they was like, oh my God, he looks so dumb. I was like, yeah, but if you look at it really, really well, the small print is, that's what his life looks like right now. He's alone. He's isolated. And that's what he needs. So she went over to him after she contacted me and know that that is in fact him. And she was like, you look familiar. She played that game. And he was like, looking at her like, I don't know who you are. She was like, your wife. And he was like, oh, you know my wife? She was like, how's she doing? Oh, she's good. Her and the kids get so. I said, are you kidding me? He said, he didn't even let on that y'all not together. So she said she went later on, her and her friends that she was with was coming out of the ladies' room, and he walked over to her and said, did you call her and tell her that you saw me? And she's like, no. And he stood there for her to take a picture and said, send her this picture. What do he want from me? I'm not understanding. Maybe he don't see me when I be seeing him. I doubt it, but I'm just saying, maybe he don't. You know he crazy.
No, yeah.
The pizza card.
Stupid, yeah.
The pizza card. The pizza card. Well, what are you look? Why are you telling this girl to reach out to me? Why are you telling her to send me a picture? I don't want to see you. Sir, you used to live here. I know what you look like. So what does that do for me? What am I supposed to do with this? That is crazy. I know now from putting out this content that quite a few of the viewers that I've had left comments saying that they have already been through divorce or separation, so they kind of understand, they know what I might be going through. Thank you so much, because all of that was good to hear. You know, everything is comforting when you hear that other people experienced it and you're not going through this alone. I told you guys, just like the pastor, when I realized the pastor was going through it and he spoke about it openly, that's what. I ain't gonna believe what happened. What happened, Mr. Riggs?
You're freezing.
I'm freezing.
You good now?
Okay.
Yeah.
The day I put separated, my inbox was flooded.
Oh, I threw a party.
From Nigeria and from his friends in the U.S. And a lot of them was like, I've always wanted to get to know you better. I'm like, ain't you his friend? I started deleting. I lost a lot of friends behind this because they all started coming at me. 4:00 in the morning on a Sunday morning, and it was like a month after the separation occurred. He was trying to keep it quiet in the African community, but it got out. His best friend shared it with somebody, and then it kept trickling down. So people kept coming to this development where the best friend lives, and they were like getting on him like, are you crazy? You let that woman go? That's the best woman out of all the American wives. I can't believe you did that. They didn't know that he was talking to my family and all that. Not all of them. Some of them did. One of the guys, I guess his antennas went up. He went home. That was Saturday night now. So he went home, and 4:00 in the morning, he was knocking on my door. I'm looking off the balcony like, who is that? And I recognize the car. I'm like, are you kidding me? So then he left when I absolutely wouldn't answer. And he started texting me. And I wouldn't respond. So he waited later in the day and he called me from a different number. And I answered it and it was him. And I'm like, so what do you want? I was like, yes, we're separated. What is it that you want? Like, I know that you know because everybody knows. And then this fool said to me, if this thing should lead to divorce, and I thought he was about to warn me about something. If this thing should lead to divorce, make me the first person you call. I was done. I was done.
What?
If these things should lead to divorce, make me the first person you call. I will take care of you like a queen. I couldn't believe it. This is how dirty men are. Just like that. And then he was like, my sister, calling me his sister, but saying this, I've been watching you since this day one. And I said, and that's very inappropriate. I'm not crazy. That's very inappropriate. Like, so I had to put a lot of them in their place because they just look for the opportune moment to just go in, and I guess that was him shooting his shot. I don't know.
No, but that's why I always say you can't have friends of the opposite sex.
But that's why I told you. I said you need to step up your patrol because that boy shouldn't have been able to get here 4 a.m.
And that's why I switched the shift. You see, I went from overnight to where I'm at now.
Listen, he switched his work shift. This brother was riding here through here so much. I was like, you want me to give you some gas money? Because he was calling me. And every time I look out the window, they was like, Mr. Riggs rode by. I'm like, you lying. He was switching cars. He wasn't even just coming in his car. He switched with his sister, go in her car, got his mom car. I said, oh boy, you for real about this security. I appreciated him. He was going to the bus stop with me and the boys. So I even stopped recording because I didn't want to put you on video. Because remember, that used to be a part of my content, me putting the boys on the bus and stuff like that. He was out there. My oldest grandson had an issue with some kid. You can tell the story if you want.
Nah, go ahead. You can tell it. I mean, I just spoke to the brother. That's all. And it stopped. It stopped that day.
I had where the male figure should have been here in the home. This brother was on it. Sometimes we would pull up at the bus stop and he was already out there with a cup of coffee for me. I thought that was so nice. When I was sick, you was offering to come get the boys to take them. And I'm like, no, I got to go out and get some soup anyway. And he was there with the soup in hand. I just appreciate him so much. It was him, my oldest sister, my mother. I have a first cousin down in South Carolina, but I call her my little sister. Our dads were brothers. And that support system was real. This girl would talk to me from like midnight until 5 a.m. She was like, I'm gonna get you through those dark hours. And she meant that. I thought she meant like while everything is dark and I'm going through, but she meant at nighttime when I couldn't sleep. And I was like, this, you know, when you're a good person, when people step in and take your problem as their own. But I didn't know how valuable I was to them until that happened. Because then you learn who your friends are. You really do. I started getting a lot of phone calls from his friends in Africa. Looking to come here too, I guess. I guess I'm just their golden ticket. Sorry, brothers. No more Africans. No more Africans.
Well, you know I always ride for you. We go back too far.
I told you guys, well, anybody that don't know, we go back to college.
Yeah.
We met in college and he was a hothead then and they messed around and let him go in the army. And it's even worse. I feel sorry for your mother. I always tell you that. If y'all think he protect me, what do you think he do to his mother and his sister? My boys be like, can you call Mr. Riggs? When they have a problem, they be like, Mom, you got to call Mr. Riggs. He got to know about this one. Mr. Riggs don't play. That's what they say. Speaking of which, they had a problem yesterday with somebody on the bus. So he wanted to talk to you about that. He wanted to call you yesterday, but I told him you was at work and that we would reach out to you today. Okay. So I'll let him call you after the live. I think you're going to want to show up at the bus stop for this one.
Well, you already know I'll be there. I'll be there Monday morning.
I already told him that. I said he do better with the mornings. He gonna be there bright and early. And I already did your homework for you.
Okay.
Guys, thanks for popping in here. I guess y'all don't have no questions for me. I guess my stories is just doing everything y'all needed to do. Again, if you don't tune in all week, please come back on Fridays because I'm gonna give you something good on Fridays. For anybody that's in here that didn't see the pizza car, you might want to head right on over there and see that one. Oh my God, that is if y'all think that's a laugh, wait till you see Fridays. OMG, I can't believe it. I'm gonna pop on periodically with Mr. Riggs, so we can do a check-in after I put up so much content. So you guys, if you need clarification about anything, or you have like comments that you don't want to leave in the comment section or whatever, you want to come up on the panel with us and discuss it openly.
Hey, there you go.
StreamYard, I can have up to 5 people up here, so I will always drop the link down there for anybody that want to tap it and come up. But thank you guys for spending some time with me this Saturday. I appreciate it. I'm gonna try to go live over here a little more often. For anybody that don't know, I like to play games on live, so I'm thinking like one weekday evening I'll start doing like the Family Feud on live and stuff like that again, just to get, I need to get some more watch hours over here. So anybody that's in here, can you do me a big favor? Can you run my playlist? Any of them. You can do the Struggling After Separation. You can do one that I got called Watch Hours. You could look, you ain't gotta sit there and watch it. You could just set it and forget it, just like them old infomercials. But I do need some watch hours. I need to get monetized over here now that I hit 1K. I didn't anticipate on hitting 1K so fast, but it happened in a matter of 2 weeks. So now I'm struggling to get these watch hours up. But I've shared it with people, and I'm going to share it with some of my church family tomorrow. I might not share the Struggling After Separation with them. I'm going to share the other playlist with them because I don't want them to view me but one way. No, seriously, though. Thank you guys so much for hanging in there with me. I love and appreciate you all. And look forward to the next upload on Monday.
Definitely. All right, look, I can't wait to see y'all next time out. And remember,
I'll be here next weekend. We'll probably be here next weekend again, guys.
No doubt.
Love and respect.
Make sure. Watch out for them pizza cars. Watch out for the pizza cars. They're not cabs. They're not cabs. I'm telling you.
They do have buses over there. I'm not sure about taxis. I'm going to check into that, though, because somebody asked a good question. They don't have taxis over there? I will find out. I do know they have buses, but I can't say I ever saw a taxi. When I was there, it was all Ubers, so I'm not really sure.
Well, it might be a pizza driver.
Ubering. They bring their buses out. Just is the craziest thing. The buses over there have competitions where they decorate them with lights and stuff and bling them out. And that's how people, it's just the craziest thing. But yeah, they bling out their buses crazy. I know. I'm going to see if I can get a video or a picture of one, and I'll put it up on the community tab for you guys. But enjoy the rest of your day. Love and respect to you all.
All right. See y'all later.